What is up, people? Hello, fish fam. This is going to be a short one today. Probably going to end before anyone even gets here. But today I'm moving the PRLs. I didn't go live while you guys was catching them, because that would have been pretty tedious just having you guys watch me catch a bunch of shrimp. But I'm super impressed with the number of shrimp that I found in my pure redline tank. I don't quite remember the exact amount I got from Tommy over at Shrimp Fever when I bought them, but I don't think it was, I think it was only like 8, maybe even 6. And now I got all these, and I only grabbed whatever babies got caught while I was catching the adults. There's still a whole tank full of babies pretty much that I'm gonna let grow up in the 10 gallon and then bring them over here. That way I don't put all my eggs in one basket either. But yeah, so these are the pure red lines. A lot of them have really nice patterns. JW Aquariums, welcome. How are ya? Thanks for coming. But right now I got the pure red line drip acclimating. They are going to go into this 55 gallon from their 10 gallon. Right now I already had, I did a test run with 3 adult PRLs and maybe 2 of the babies, and of course the babies you never see again once they're in here. But the PRLs are doing good, and basically they are really happy, and they were so happy that I decided to go upstairs from the Red Dragon tank, Red Dragon Guppy tank, and take a bunch of my favorite red Rili, the prettiest ones, the ones that had basically pure red, then clear, then red, or as close to it as I can get, the best ones that I had basically, and brought them and acclimated them into this water. So this tank's going to be a pure red line tank along with red Rilis. I think that'll be cool, the red and white and the red and clear together in there. But let's get some close-up shots and see if we can find any that are already in the tank. Let's see if I can find any. Alright, there's a crystal on the filter back there. And like I said, they've been in here for 3 or 4 days now, and they're looking good. A lot of the Rilis, I put there's a couple baby mamas on the red Rilis that I put in here, and they seem to be doing good too. There's a Rili, if I can get the acclimator out of my way. I'm not going to be able to get that one because the acclimation's in the way. But, I mean, there are like 10 Rilis in here, so we should be able to find another one. Crystal shrimp are a little harder to find because there's only a couple. But that's not for long, because these guys are looking good. Look at them, no entries. And when I bought these, there weren't any no entries, so I know that the no entries were born in my tank. So that big one right there was actually born in my tank, not one of the originals that I bought, because I didn't get any no entries. There's a Rili back there. Hey bud, how you doing? So cool. So JW Aquariums got a Bosemani rainbow fish last night. They're pretty cool. Never really been into the rainbows. I had whatever kind of rainbows you could get at PetSmart. I think I had the turquoise rainbows for a little while, but they were wild. So I don't think I had them for very long. Look at all that white foam growing on that wood. That is good eating for the shrimp. So I actually waited until I saw a bunch of that in the tank before I was gonna move them. But I can show you an update. Basically, this is my office now, which is the coolest thing ever. Like this, so I don't know if you guys know, but I work from home, and I usually just sit up at the kitchen table or out on my patio. But I cleaned up the fish room a little bit, and I noticed that the desk would fit perfectly in here to allow me to still do my laundry and whatnot, be able to sit at my desk in my chair here, have this beautiful gorgeous tank behind me, all these other tanks behind me, this is where I'm going to sit and do my work. So I have my monitor here, so I have my Sulawesi Cardinal tank there, my Shadow Panda Blue Bolt King Kong tank there, White Ghost Bee there, Purple Grass Guppies there, Royal Blue Tigers there, Extreme Blue Bolts right here in my face, Pinto Shrimp right here in my face, my high grade cherry shrimp, and this right now is a guppy tank. But basically all 6 of these tanks I'm gonna switch to be pretty much my favorite shrimp. So then I'll have all my favorite shrimp right here and in front of me pretty much, and then over there I have the blue Moscow tank if I look, and then all behind me, like I said, I have this. So it's great. So when I'm making YouTube videos, this is what will be in the background behind me when I use my computer, when I finally do. And then I have these right next to me, and then I could look at these while I'm working, which is wonderful. I'm loving this. It's fantastic. It's a great setup. Yeah, the black racks, I actually trust them 100%. I didn't at first, because when I first bought them, one of my buddies, Chris Hardy, came over from Triton Aquatics, and he saw the racks and he was like, don't use them, because I bought these before I built the wood racks that all these tanks are on. So I bought these racks to put where these racks are, and he was like, don't use them, like I wouldn't trust it. And I don't know, so I trusted his opinion and I built these wood racks instead. But then I still had these sitting around for a while, and I did a water test on them. And basically, since I did a weight test, and the shelves claimed that they could hold some crazy number of weight per pound shelf. So 20 gallons of water, I did the math when I knew the numbers, and it came out that like the 20 gallon full of water, sand, rock, etc., like the max it'll ever be is still like 120 pounds under what the weight limit for the shelf is. So I don't know, I trusted it, and I went from the bottom up, filled, and I didn't hear any creaking or shifting or anything whatsoever on the rack. So yeah, I fully trust it. When I first got it, I was very, very nervous, but right now I fully trust it. I haven't seen it any like what you see. Chris Hardy warned me about this. I'm actually gonna have to get over here to get you a good shot of this, but Chris Hardy warned me that that max weight is basically when the weight is evenly distributed perfectly. So a 20 gallon basically is perfectly distributing the weight, so the shelves are perfectly straight. But if you notice this 20 tall, since the weight isn't going fully to the edges of the shelf, you can see it's getting a little bit of a bowing right kind of under that cholla wood. But there's definitely a little bit of bowing going on the top shelf, but I still trust it 100%. It's not gonna, I don't know, I fully trust it. I trust it more than these homemade shelves that I built into the wall when I really didn't know what I'm doing. So if I need to be worried about any tank, it's these 2 tanks that are built into the wall, because I didn't know what I was doing when I put those in. So that's it. Pure red line, the water's getting pretty high here. That's pretty cool. There's a nice, oh man, I love all these shrimp. Sorry, I lost my frame of thought, or my train of thought there. Got distracted by the beautifulness, as I've said in a RJL, what's up? Mike 42, how you doing? But yeah, the PRLs are going to be getting released into this tank shortly, and they're going to be very happy in their new home, I think. And I'm going to be very happy in my new work environment, because whenever I get stressed out, all I have to do is look around, and I should get calmed down. So I mean, look at that. That's a gorgeous picture. I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't be happier with the way that that desk fits in there. The only downside is, since you were asking about these black racks, I have 2 more. This one I got at a garage sale. Sorry about that, guys. The app froze up. I don't know why it's been doing that. But basically, I was saying that this rack I don't trust for fish tanks, because this is the bottom of another rack. So basically I got this at a garage sale, and then when I got home and put it together, I realized they took 2 racks and put them together to make one using 2 of the bottoms, and that's why it's a little taller. But anyway, this is the same exact rack that I bought that I have these 20s on. So this one, my plan for that one was to make an L off of this and have it go down this white line and go down. That was before I was thinking of bringing my desk in here. So that rack would have came to approximately right about here. And then if I did that, there's not room to put my desk in too. So I had to make the decision, do I want another rack in here to hold 20 gallons, or did I want my desk? And I decided I want my desk because worst case scenario, I could just move that one tank somewhere else, and the rack, I'll just have to move that homemade shelf that I built there, just move it over a couple studs in the wall. But I would basically just have to move the Blue Moscow Guppy tank somewhere, and I could fit that rack there, and then that'll be what I would do, worst case scenario. And then basically, since that tank's not even full yet, I've already been contemplating moving this tank to where that tank is, and then I would just either not even set up that tank yet, or set up that tank somewhere else when I figure out more where I get more room. I don't know. The problem is this 30 gallon and this 29 gallon are too tall to fit on the bottom shelves there. So that's the predicament I'm in. So with the 55 there, when I did the measurements, I measured so that would fit perfectly right next to it, which it does, except as you see, I made a mistake with, I didn't take the width of the stud into consideration. But it's alright. I'm basically just going to build this rack out and then put another leg over here, and I think it'll be fine. But anyways, the PRLs are doing good. I'm not going to rush them. I'm not going to put them in until that water is probably full, and then I'm going to probably take 3/4 of the water out and do another drip. It all depends. I'm really not even scared. I was thinking of not even drip acclimating because the water parameters are pretty much identical, because I use the RO water with the salty shrimp and I measure everything. So the water parameters should be pretty much exactly the same, so it shouldn't be a shock anyway. But better safe than sorry. So, you guys like these shrimp? They're pretty gorgeous. Pretty gorgeous. But anyways, you guys have any more questions? Do you want to see anything? I guess I could show you what the old fish room / shrimp room looks like. There's still 5 tanks in there that I need to get over here. The Wi-Fi signal might get real crappy because, as I told you during my last stream, when I went back and watched it, it was super crappy quality because that router used to be over there, hanging on the wall pretty much, right next to the cider that I made. But basically, I moved it into the fish room because I think this wall of water right here was blocking all the Wi-Fi signal. So whenever I came into this room to try to show you my shrimp or my guppies, the signal always dropped and got real fuzzy and crappy. So now I ran a line from my main router to this secondary router, and I basically logged into it and made it an access point instead of a router. And I did that in the garage and in the upstairs of my house as well. So I have tons of Wi-Fi signals all over. But basically I had to move this one into the fish room to get a good 5G signal in here. Thank you. The video is much better now. Thank you, RJ, for telling me that. J81985, welcome. You've had some great videos lately. If you guys haven't checked out J1985's videos, go check him out. He's making some good ones. He's got some really nice goldfish. But yeah, anyway, enough about the router or / access point. Now my video should be better, but since it's here, my other shrimp room's on the other side of this wall of water, so we might lose, it might get blurry. Let me know if it gets blurry, because then I'll move back. But as you can see, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks, 8 tanks in here. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks. Okay, so we still have 7 tanks in here. As you can see, I ripped the back wall off of this tank. I mean off of the behind the tanks, because now that the other rack's over there, that's how I used to get into my storage area. Now I have to make an entrance over here after this rack comes down. But this is how I'm going to get into the storage area. There's still a whole bunch of pure red line babies in here. You know, there's one there, a couple over there, and who knows how many are still lost in that Java moss. I'm almost positive I got all the adults, but I guarantee there's probably still 20-30 babies in there. But yeah, there's just moss in that tank, and that was the plants that I got out of Lake Erie, but they all just melted away and went to crap. I still have to move my RO water up into the closet upstairs, so that way it's a higher gravity level and I could just use gravity instead of having to move buckets all over. Although I do have this water pump right here, and this is how right now I'm pumping through this hose down and back into the my fish tanks. But right here, this tank is a crack tank that I'm going to do a project in the future with, cutting the glass and showing you how to make like an upside down beta tank. This was the Taiwan B tank. I noticed once I had the filter off for a few days and stopped feeding a whole bunch of planaria. There's actually one right there. Came out. So I think that's why I was losing a lot of my bees, because obviously this tank had planaria. And in here we only have one orange eye red ghost, and I lost majority of them as well, and I'm assuming this tank also has planaria, so I treated it with the Z1 Disco B, no planaria, no hydra treatment. So this tank should be good to go, and I'm planning a project where I'm probably going to just throw a few pure red line and a few royal blue tigers and a few yellow King Kong in here, along with the one orange eye red ghost that's left in there, and see what that makes. But yeah, I'm gonna this tank's gonna get moved into the other room onto the bottom rack, but I'm still gonna leave it set up until all of these babies grow up a little bit, so I make sure I get all of them. But yeah, this room is coming apart, pulling it apart little bit by little bit. Oh, here's what I was talking about. This is the stuff I used to treat the planarian and hydra. Alright, I think that's it, guys. I am gonna I guess I'll go over here. I'll show you my royal blue tigers. How's the video quality? Still good? I could probably get a better view from the other side. J1985, I am not redoing, well, yeah, I guess I am redoing the fish room. I was moving it because this room over here was much too small. Like, I was starting to fill it up in no time, and I realized that that was only with shrimp. And then once I realized, once I got into guppies, I was going to need more space. And I would have liked to, so over here, I had a wall where you see this white line going. I put a wall up and I drywalled all of this stuff. Drywalled, made recessed shelving in directly into the wall behind some of those tanks. I built that tank into the wall and made these little shelves out here to hold this tank, and that can hold a 10-gallon. It was supposed to hold a 20-gallon, but again, measured wrong, so only a 10. Yeah, I'm not redoing it. I'm basically moving everything and expanding because I needed more room for the guppies. But there's tons of royal blue tiger babies in here too. The royal blue tigers are awesome. They are breeding like crazy right now. There's like 3 or 4 babies just right up there on the sponge filter, if it'll focus. Come on, YouTube. Of course, it only focuses when there's a glare. As you can see, there's a blonde in there, and then it looks like 2 royal blue tigers. And that's just on the sponge. Imagine how many babies are hidden in all this washer tank and moss, and I guarantee you can find a couple of them up in this frog bit too. But yeah, these royal blue tigers are very pretty, very solid blue. So I can't wait till they really start reproducing like crazy, and I start seeing more and more of them. The purple grass guppies are breeding like crazy as well. There's tons of fry in this tank. The adults seem to like to just chill and hide. They don't really come out much except to eat. But they hide behind that rock most of the time. I'm just trying to look to see if any of my other shrimpies are out. So I did see a baby Cardinal Sulawesi. First one I've seen, and only one I've seen. But that is exciting news. I'm trying to get those guys back there without the glare. That's the problem with having all of your tanks in one room, and especially in this L pattern, is because there's a glare on every tank you try to go to. Do you use salt in your guppies tanks? I use RO water and salty shrimp for all of my tanks. And for my guppy tanks, I use the same exact water that I use for my Royal Blue Tigers and all my Neos. I use the salty shrimp GHKH plus to a GH of about 6 or 7. And that's what I use, and that gives me a KH value of about 3. And that's what I use for all of my Neos and all of my guppies. So yeah, I guess you could say I use salt, considering the product's called salty shrimp. But yeah, my guppies up here, I got a pair. Look out for a video, an unboxing video from Guppy Train. It's not going to be in the next video that comes out, but it'll be out soon. These are RREA Super Reds. These are the females. The male was dead on arrival, unfortunately, which is why the video hasn't come out yet. Guppy Train's shipping me another one and making it right. And the exact same thing happened with these Platinum Tigers. I got a trio, and only one of the females survived out of the male, and the female are out of the trio. So, and in here, he sent me a bonus gift of Blue Delta fry, 6 of them, and they're all alive still. So that's cool. On the way, I actually just got an email yesterday from AFTG Guppy in Thailand. He just shipped to the transshipper in Florida my guppies, and from him I'm getting a pair of full platinum whites and full blacks, actually trios of each, and they're going in that tank and that tank. That tank hasn't been claimed yet, so I don't know what's going to go in that tank, but something will go in that tank eventually. And then we have plenty of room down here that I got to fill up with tanks still. But right there, so I was saying, that's how I used to access my storage, was right through there, and it's getting covered up. As you can see, I'm overrun with red and pink ram's horn snails, and this tank is overrun with blue ram's horn snails. I've been trying to get them out. I'm going to actually make a video on how to make a snail trap, because I already did. But in the process, I tried to get some time-lapse video of me making catching the snails, and I ended up catching a lot more guppies than snails. So I found out it's way easier just to drop a piece of food in there, wait overnight, and come in the morning and just net them all, because they're all stuck to the food. But I think that's it for this one, guys. I'm going to be putting these PRLs in the tank very shortly, but not shortly enough where I'm going to keep this live stream going until it happens. But watch for my videos in the future, and you'll get to see all these shrimpies actually in the water, in the tank, swimming around, being happy. Or maybe I'll do a live stream later after they're in. But till later. Later, fish fam.